What is up, Pats pals and Foxborough friends the world over? Your old pals, Nick Fitzy Stevens, and of course, joining me as always to the side, but he's a primary player. It's Andy Jumbo Hart, and this is the latest and always greatest edition of Six Rings and Football Things, a Patriot-centric podcast brought to you by your friends at WEI, Odyssey, and 2400 Sports. On today's episode, we'll be talking OTAs once again as Jumbo is fresh from the practice field where he observed the Patriots doing their pretend thing in advance of minicamp, of course, which opens up on Monday. We'll discuss the accuracy of Jones, number 10. Marte Mapu is on the loose. Christian Gonzalez's hype train is getting out of control. Plus a special focus on special teams. Kendrick Bourne flexing on him. We'll have some talk later in the rumor mill of D-Hop making his way to town next week, Dalvin cooking it up down in Miami, and of course, your questions. Jumbo, here we go. Let's acknowledge some people in the live stream. Hello, everybody. This, of course, is coming to you live on the Fitzy GFY socials, but you're probably listening later on the Six Rings in Football Things podcast feed. Let's go 30,000-foot view as we like to at the top of the program. What were your general thoughts and takeaways out there today on the practice fields at Gillette?
So, first of all, it was another, as Bill Belichick might call it, tempoed down OTA session.
Again with the whole, like, I ate before I came to brunch. I'll just probably have a soda. Thanks.
Yeah, and I knew it was coming when they shortened the window. They cut some off the front end. They cut some off the back end. And anytime they shorten practices, it generally means walkthrough. And we saw a good chunk of walkthrough speed. Still key players absent. Still, you're still in need of a wide receiver body, in my opinion, which we can maybe talk about later. Because you still know Juju Smith-Schuster, who, recall that earlier in the week, Bill Belichick said he was here. And I think he meant here in Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, whatever, but we have not seen him on the field.
Are you sure he doesn't mean here as I point to my heart, or here as in he's, because he did construct some pretty sweet TikToks at the White House earlier this week.
Yes, he did. He was there, but a day later, Bill said he was here in Foxborough. So I'm going to take Bill at his word. I don't question Bill's word. I trust the man to the end of the earth. I'm starting to wonder if Juju's dealing with a little something, a little banged up, a little not quite ready to go. I mean, obviously we saw him at the White House, so he's not dead. He's not on crutches. He's not anything of that nature, but maybe there's a little something he's dealing with. Another thing that's a bit alarming, also not out there at the wide receiver position, a guy who popped in the first OTA that everybody was writing about. One guy who made plays against air because he beat Miles Bryant, Tyquan Thornton. Hey, where you been?
Where is young Tyquan Thornton? I'm very curious about this because there's no reason for him not to be there unless there's been a mild tweak or aggravation of something.
His wrist,
the two tiny wrists.
Could be. He's got two of them. One could be banged up.
He does, like the rest of the Patriots, begin mini camps on Monday, but why wouldn't he be out there, like, clearly establishing himself, or before any other possible receiver either pops from the back end of the draft or comes to town and signs a free agent deal? Why wouldn't he be out there establishing himself and impressing people, turning heads?
My guess is he's dealing with something, and I know you're big on this. You think he is Italian, that he is fragile.
I think he is slight. I do think a strong gusto win could topple his route.
Along those lines, so you had Bourne out there, you had Parker, but I'm not sure Parker's fully good to go either. He seemed to spend early in practice. He was kind of with the top group with Bourne and Mac Jones, caught a nice crossing pattern at one point, caught a couple balls down the field, and then was spending a lot of time with a ball boy / trainer type, really kind of at a distance from the whole group of the rest of the team. So wouldn't be surprised if Parker is dealing with a little something. And I think we talked about this last episode of the Six Rings podcast. They don't have enough bodies at wide receiver. Like, you know who stands out at wide receiver? If we're being the most consistent standout wide receiver in the first 3 OTAs, you know who that would be?
Oh.
I'll give you a free can of Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar if you guess.
The most consistent receiver to
standing
date.
Out. Just
standing out.
No, you're like, I see him a lot. He's out there a lot. They're throwing to him a lot.
Demario Douglas.
No.
Damn it. I wanted that soda too.
I am going to drink this soda now because the name is Raleigh Webb. and that is bad.
And you ain't getting no Coke. Raleigh Webb.
Like,
I
he's
mean,
always out there, always around. I don't think he's any good.
He's going to be the new, freaking, who was that one? Brian something or other. And like 20, every year we fall, he's going to be like Trey Nixon. You know who I'm talking about. Made the Raleigh, he was absolutely jacked.
Raleigh Webb's got no shot to make the roster. I want to just make that clear. He's out there a lot. I see him a lot. He's doing things a lot. The guy's not good. The guy's not going to make a roster. He's at best a special teamer. But my point is, if I'm noticing Raleigh Webb, that's bad.
Brian, there we go. Hey, watching live on Facebook right now, Buddy Andrade. Thank you very much, buddy. Brian Timms. That's right. I think he actually even caught. You can buy now. You can also they sponsor a lot of podcasts. You can get Timms for like different man parts that you need to have adjusted and whatever else. Timms, if I'm not mistaken. Shut up. We're just having fun. It's Friday. I got to get in the mood anyway. I'm hosting a 6-year-old's birthday party later on, and it's also my kid. I think if I'm not mistaken, it would be weird if I was hosting a random 6-year-old's party.
And getting in the mood. That would concern me. I'd be making phone calls.
All right. That's the final 6 Rings and Corey Things podcast right here. Oh, look at that. It's MSNBC showing up at the door. I think Tim's actually caught a touchdown pass, like one against Buffalo. He had like a quick hot minute type of thing. But anyway, look, right now the Patriots you got your stack of 6-rounders, undrafted free agent guys and more. And then you've got all
wasn't out there. You don't have your stack. Booty wasn't out there.
What is everyone doing? Is everyone just like waiting? Is everyone just like waiting until minicamp? Like, this could be a moot point because by the time we finish, people listen over the weekend. They start getting concerned. Like, we don't have receivers. Hart's right. Oh no, hit the panic button, Bob Lobel. They all might be saving themselves for when the moment counts a bit more come actual minicamp Monday.
Think Booty is saving himself?
No, not him. I'm talking about the vets.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Demario Doug. No, he shouldn't.
No. The only person who you could argue saves himself or anything like that is Juju Smith-Schuster. Dude is an NFL wide receiver. Everybody else should be treating this like they could be cut at any time because they're a bunch of guys. None of these guys should be saving themselves for anything. Women,
Andy, we got a lot of questions coming in fast and furious right now. Watching live on the YouTube, we got Showland 1999. I feel like I may have dropped a couple of quarters in a machine there once. Showland 1999 says we sure do seem to have a lot of wide receiver number 4s.
Yes,
that is not an inaccurate statement. We'll get to D-Hop potentially coming to town later on. He visits Tennessee first over the weekend. Adam on YouTube Live says, "Is our 4th-round kicker out there? Doing stuff."
Yes, crushing the football. And also
Ryland?
Ryland's killing the ball. He's the kicker. Nick Folk was also out there, which I thought was interesting. Not only that Nick Folk was on the field, we hadn't really seen him, but he was doing kickoffs. They were doing kickoffs for the special teams segment of practice, and usually they use a jugs machine or maybe have Ryland, the young leg, do it. But Nick Folk did some kickoffs. They both did field goals late. Ryland's got a leg. He has.
Does he really?
And especially in comparison to Nick Folk, whose kickoffs were not impressive.
Nope.
So don't tell me he got worn down last December because he should be fresh as Tom Brady's lettuce in mid-June, and he still doesn't have a strong leg on kickoffs. And he didn't really look good like he was hitting the ball well on field goals. So early overreaction is Ryland's your kicker.
I think it's going to happen too. And like we said on a previous episode,
Folk's been good. We're just going to kick him.
No, it's not. We're not just kicking him to the curb. We gave him a 3-year victory lap run. He made millions of dollars. He became a local legend. He will never buy a beer or non-alcoholic beer, depending on his preference, if he ever runs into me or many other Pats fans as well. His money is no good on my dime, sir.
People just kick him to the curb.
Here we go. See,
new Ryland.
Look, they're showing up right now, watching live, engaging with us, liking, reviewing, sharing, subscribing at 6 Rings Pod. And here you are, you peopling them, already driving them away in droves. Only 10 minutes into the pod. Look, we all knew if they're going to spend a 4th-round draft pick on a kicker, we know that likely means the end of Big Kick Nick's days in Foxborough because, as we previously discussed, and I think this was a sneaky huge need and a deficiency on last year's team, once the Pilardi party started, Jake Bailey and his squatting accident led him to the IR, not the IL. Then basically you had Folk, Vizcaino sucked out loud. So you had Folk on kickoffs. You lost about 12 yards per average on kickoffs because Bailey had a boomstick and Nick Folk did not. And also last year he couldn't hit a field goal from 50 yards or longer.
Well, I mean, he is what he is.
These are just hard truths. I love the man.
You people were ready to replace him with Quinn Nordine. So
Oh,
let's
we
not
were
forget that.
not. We
Oh,
just
you
wanted
were.
to.
You were. Y'all were. Y'all
Oh no,
were.
no, no, no. Hey,
Now Ryland's better.
just because I can sing the lyrics to the Mighty Quinn doesn't mean I was ready to put Iron Leg in there in place of Big Kick Nick.
Speaking of which, a little thing came across my radar that I need to do a little more
What
looking into.
was it? A glowing ship in Las Vegas with 2 8-foot tall humans in your backyard? Because I heard about that last night.
No, this is
Okay.
more on my Patriots radar at Gillette Stadium. And you brought up Jake Bailey's squatting incident and how that kind of paved his way out of town and all of that. From what I've been told, because I've seen some different things occurring on the practice fields. For example, the other day they did a big circle where they all sat down and like did a cool down stretch while Bill walked around and talked. And yeah, don't be like that.
Okay.
It reminded me of a youth practice or something you might see on a youth field where coach is talking, but we're all going to be stretching our groins and doing some other stretches in a big circle. And I've been told there is a new member of the football staff who is bringing some new age beliefs in terms of warming up, cooling down, stretching, different things that Bill Belichick is on board with. He very much has the ear of the head coach. So you're going to see a new addition to, I guess that would be considered the strength and conditioning staff with that group. But I wonder if there's anything related to heavy squats was sort of a hot button topic last year because of your punter who no longer is your punter and everything that went down there. Or maybe it's just Bill Belichick is always open to new science, new theories, new philosophies. It's very important to have our team healthy and on the field and all of that.
Just as long as Guerrero's not involved, then he may be into
Right.
more stretching science and new age pliable techniques. It just can't involve having a borderline convicted weirdo on the sidelines, touching people and making things.
Bill may not have hated the ideas of Alex Guerrero, new age science, or even new age mixed with ancient, because some of Guerrero's is dates back to Chinese and kind of ages ago. But now he's got his own guru or guy on staff. So just something to keep an eye out for. And I will be monitoring whether they are, and it may be a coincidence, may not, whether they're healthier, not healthier as they go through training camp, whether they go through September, October. Are injuries an issue, more an issue, less an issue? So they have a new guy in that area. But
let me guess, it's probably somebody from TB12 because part of Tom Brady's deal with Kraft Sports Entertainment is likely that he's going to get all of his overpriced underwear and golf shirts in the pro shop. And then now there's going to be a concentration of having like a TB12 employee on staff. And then they'll make sure that there's greater integration. Or am I just reaching?
I think you're reaching.
I think I'm probably reaching as well. That's okay.
This is a friend of a friend through Bill Belichick. He generally stays within his circle of trust.
Oh, Scott Gunnarsson watching live on Facebook. Now I have a true kinship with Fitzy. Tom Brady has left my team too. Scott, we know what it's like to have been left at the altar with the GOAT. Each of us with a ring and collectible memorabilia that he helped deliver in the process. He's had it, by the way, real quick before, shirt. Wow, we got shirts, hats, and whatever else. I'm wearing my signed Rodney Harrison jersey right now, which I just felt like was an appropriate jersey to wear today. Feels
Why
good.
would you wear a signed jersey? Shouldn't you be hanging that up? Dude's a borderline Hall of Famer. You wash it too?
Well, it'll probably get hung at some point. No, I don't wash it. Tom Brady's had an interesting week. He was part of that Fanatics video, which I thought was pretty interesting. He and Gronk, that sort of like welcome to the NFL thing. And I do think this was pretty cool. Brady was part of the NFL's initiative in a video memo. Basically, they sent out to every team warning people not to gamble their career away. Literally. As we now have Isaiah Rodgers with the Colts, you got the whole fracas with Detroit. They had to fire staffers. Jamison Williams suspended 6 games. And now there's rumors that there may be more players in college and the NFL gambling on football. Like, that's bad news bears. So if they're enlisting the GOAT actually to deliver the message, you hope finally people will listen, Andy. But I have a feeling this is going to be a lingering issue for a while to come.
Yeah.
How can it not? I mean, you dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. What do you think you get? The horns.
Right. I mean, it's whether you're a teacher, a parent, when you have a black and white, a line where you have decided bedtime is 8:00, right? Bedtime is 8:00. You're in bed by 8:00 every damn night. Okay, you can stay up till 8:15 this night. Well, then the next night they want to stay up till 8:15, right? You already broke, like when you had a rule and you
set a precedent.
Yes, it was now you set a precedent. You've opened Pandora's box. What did you expect was going to happen when you allowed what, 90 times 30, 2,700 players plus, hundreds and hundreds of team employees, and you're just pumping ads for gambling, and everybody's got an app and everybody's got a discount. Oh, you didn't think they were going to cross over and do some things that were in gray areas that they may not be able to do, whether it's bet in the facility, bet on games, bet on different things. Like, you reap what you sow, and you're sowing this catastrophe if it turns into one. But yeah, it's nice for Brady to do these things now that he's retired and has plenty of time on his hand, just record a few videos here or there. Getting back to practice. So you referenced it earlier. There was a guy that I think most people would say stood out on the practice field. He is in a red shirt. Nope, his name is not Mac Jones. He's not a quarterback. He's in a red shirt because he's recovering from injury. He wears number 52. Marte Mapu.
Marte Mapu. There was a lot of Mapu buzz on the Twitters and from the beat reporters that he was, quote, all over the place at practice today, showcasing his talents at linebacker and safety. Yes.
Well, it was mostly at safety. Yeah. I didn't see much linebacker. Linebacker was the first day of OTAs. The last 2 days of OTAs, it's been primarily safety. But I also think, and you can take this, and he can take this any way he wants. He's a tryhard. And I'm not sure he plays at the requested speed, quote unquote. I think he, as my friend Paul Perillo says, he goes 100 miles an hour no matter what. And sometimes I think everybody else on the field is playing at 80%. And therefore, the guy with 100 miles an hour looks like he's going faster than everybody.
But it's OTAs. Now, you're going to love that kind of energy, effort, and attitude, the EEA principle of of Coach Hart. But at the same time, this is the kind of stuff that gets you banged up way too early. Like, don't you have to know, like, veterans obviously know how to manage this, and they know when to turn on the gas and when the Sunday lights are on, et cetera, et cetera. But, like, I know he needs to make an impression, but he's also a third-round draft pick, so there's a pretty damn good chance he's going to make the team. The coaches are familiar with the fact that he hits like a hammer and runs like thunder. It's more about him. Like, you say he's got tryhardism written all over him. That's great.
Love it.
But isn't that possibly going to get him dinged up well before it's time?
Dinged up and probably annoy some of his veteran teammates. But I've always said, I don't care what level it is, I'd much rather have to rein somebody in than try to light a fire under their ass. I think it's far easier to do. So he had a pick six today. He had another, should have been probably a pick six. It bounced off his chest. Bailey Zappi was getting very familiar with throwing him the football. But he's athletic. We knew that. He flies around. We know that. We'll see what it looks like when everybody's going full speed and everybody has pads on and that type of thing. Because there was one play in particular, again, non-contact, but you have these plays, people get their fits. They're blocking fits, and you put your hands on the guy. It might have been Raleigh Webb. I forget who it was, but he came up for like a
lot of Raleigh Webb talk early in the podcast.
All over the field. And I barely knew who he was like 3 days ago. But Mapu came up and kind of shivered a veteran that was clearly like, what are you doing?
What are we doing here, guy? Come on. It's not even flag day. Let's just
Harry Hardo, put it away and wait till we're actually playing football. This is shorts. This is t-shirts. This is June. But I will say, he's clearly going to get an opportunity to play right out the gate. Like, he is being given a lot of reps. We talked a lot about Christian Gonzalez, who still is your left corner. He's lining up at left corner with,
opposite Jack Jones today, right?
Well, yeah, people get all giddy about that. Ooh, Jack Jones. No Jonathan Jones out there. Who else you going to put out there? I'll hang up and listen.
Miles Bryant.
You serious about that?
No.
But so who else?
You can't. Jalen Mills has transitioned to safety.
Jalen Mills also wasn't on the field, so he would have been an option. Wasn't on the field.
Okay.
So all these Jack Jones.
How about your guys? Your boys Isaiah Speed and Isaiah Bolden. Yeah.
So we're just gonna. So you see my point? Like, everybody was like, Jack Jones is opposite Christian Gonzalez. Who the F else was going to be out there? Nobody, because we've decided Marcus Jones is an inside corner. So, like, he's not going to be out there.
Nope.
And Jalen Mills wasn't out there, Jonathan. And so, therefore, Fitzy, there is a term I used about the offensive line a year ago. Do you remember what that term was?
It was troubling. It was something about inconsistent, and you weren't happy with them.
Well, more than that, early on, I called it a house of cards.
Yes, you did. That's right.
I think the cornerback position's a house of cards. Like, there's upside.
Wait a second. There's
definite upside. You have upside with Christian Gonzalez. You have upside with Jack Jones. But we just showed on day one, if Jonathan Jones is out, now you're forced to play Gonzalez, who's never played an NFL game, Jack Jones, who hasn't played a full NFL season. We should get into him too in his retort to Bert Breer's comments about his back and
I
forth.
appreciate the fact that he was trying to own his spot and defend his rep. Good for him.
But they have no reliable depth at the cornerback position. It is a house of cards. If it all goes well, I think they could be really good. I do. I think they could be really good. But one injury or one guy who's not ready to be out on the field, no bueno.
Now, we have heard a curious absence, or rather have curiously heard not much about Marcus Jones at all so far leading up in the OTAs. Like, has he been out there? Is he doing anything? Is he just
out
second
there.
year? He's just waiting to turn on the Jets. Like, he's not doing much of anything. He's just there.
He's out there. Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's
good
not getting reps from what I see with the sort of top rotational guys, the top group, anything like that. He's more second field or second tiers, twos, the whole thing. You know how I feel about it. I'd like him to Riverside it, change his jersey color, turn around and go on the other side of the ball, especially with, I think, limited options on that side of the ball as well. But yeah, he's done not much to stand out, to be honest with you.
One person who did stand out today, and it wasn't just for his practice and play, was Kendrick Bourne. Bourne Pauly, the Bourne identity, born again. Literally, that's an operative phrase that seems to be in play because he looks great. He's got a whole new attitude, or at least he brought back that same energy from 2 years ago. He was out there smiling and profiling. This video, courtesy of Tom E. Curran, with a couple of answers to pertinent questions regarding last year, the new offense, and how he's feeling about this year, comes once again from @Tommy Curran of NBC Sports Boston. We'll listen here. Here's about a minute's worth of Kendrick Bourne, first talking about what happened last year and how he's feeling about the season to come.
Moving forward, doing good.
What are some of the things that you've seen that you've liked so far as a group?
Just Bill's familiar. He's familiar with what he's doing, so it feels good. You can tell he knows what he's doing in all areas of the offense. Receiver, lineman, running back, he knows offense a lot, so it feels good.
Bill O'Brien? Yeah. How have your interactions with him been? Is he tapping into some of the things that maybe Josh was able to tap into in the 2021 season?
No, he's doing well. He knows how to engage with all of us. I feel like he knows our traits right now, and he knows where to put us, so it's been good. Just we're still learning each other as a group, but he's doing well. You can tell he knows what he's doing.
When you say that, we are going to inevitably say, well, does he mean that last year was... So that's what we're going to end up doing.
No, it just feels good. Change is good. So it's something we needed. I feel like it's good. It feels good so far. So yeah, if that's what it's going to be, then it's better so far.
I mean, how nice is it to have last year in the past and to start fresh this year?
Yeah, new year, new me, new us, new everything. So that's what we're focused on, and that's always the goal every year is to move forward and be better.
Kendrick, I could be wrong about this, but you look bigger, thicker this year. Is that something you worked on? Is that something you worked on this offseason?
Yeah. Just being fit, just being in shape in ways that I've never been before. So just taking care of my body, eating well, doing everything that I need to do just to be prepared to play better. Like we're talking about last year, was very disappointed in myself and my play and everything, how the year went. So just giving myself the best opportunity to do the best I can for the team.
So wants to give himself the best opportunity he can to help the team. Looks like he put on about like 15 pounds of muscle mass. Like he looked pretty significantly larger there as well. But for me, the main takeaway there, Andy, is the fact that he was smiling his entire way through. Fresh start, feels good. Everyone's in the right place. Like he can't come out and say like, wow, what an absolute trash fire last season was. And it made me sad. And I felt like quitting football or at least getting traded. And now I'm here and I got a brand new chance once again to play football that in a spot I loved 2 years ago. Like I speak Kendrick Bourne. I'm pretty sure I got what he said.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he wanted everybody to get what he said. In fact, Tom Curran gave him a possibility of like maybe backing down and not.
We're going to do this. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the reality is he's okay with that. He wants that. How many times did he say he knows what he's doing? He's knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing. He's knowledgeable. Oh, so Tell me you don't believe that Matt Patricia knew what he was doing and was knowledgeable without telling me you don't believe Matt Patricia didn't know what he was doing. Like, he could not have been more clear, and his energy was obvious. This came post-practice, this interview. His energy was obvious on the field. Now, we all know all those veteran guys weren't out there the other day. He was flying around the field. I do think there's a chance he's their best receiver. I'm dubious of Juju Smith-Schuster based on his – I think he's their best receiver.
Like it.
He makes plays, and I'll give you a little other nugget. I want to be careful to not totally break their rules of what we're allowed to report. But those people, not you people, those people who think that Kendrick Bourne is a playmaker and Kendrick Bourne should be used more like Deebo Samuel and some of those aspects, I think you will like what you see if what I'm seeing on the practice field is an indication. He is doing a lot of centerpiece of the offense type moving around, motion.
Stop right now. Stop right now.
Just tell
it is too early. I don't have a proper beverage in hand. There's no darts in the house to light up. Right? This is what we have been wanting to see, and that's probably about the most you can say. And
yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I'll get yelled at by Stacey James.
I was going to say, there's a texter.
Did you not read the back of the roster? Look at this. You see what all those are? Those are all the rules about what we can't report and what we're allowed to talk about and all that. So I don't want to break rules, but it looks like Bill O'Brien likes him some Kendrick Bourne.
Jordan Watson, one of my favorites, watching live on Facebook. Matt Patricia is to the Patriots as road construction on the Bourne Bridge is to locals. It's a pretty apt comp as well. There's like even
the
before
Bourne Bridge, like Matt Patricia, used to be good. It was accomplished at one point. Now it's just kind of
a hassle.
Its lifespan.
Good job. Look at that. See, we could have a Bourne Bridge to a competent offense as well with 84 right now, who's jacked up, juiced, and ready to go. I wanted that so badly last year. We must have gotten so much play on the pod, on the radio, wherever else, the socials and beyond, when Kendrick Bourne went on some other rando dude's podcast and said that he kind of wanted to be used like Deebo Samuel and wanted to get the ball in the backfield anywhere he possibly could to do things. I'm telling you, Andy, there is a chance. It's not a huge chance. It's not even a great chance, but I'm telling you, there's a chance that maybe, just maybe, this offense may be a little more creative, a little more difficult to decipher and unpredictable than people are predicting. The trickeration could be on. It's actually going to move the ball forward. They might even score this year on purpose.
Well, I mean, they do have a professional offensive coach running the show out there. You know what the funny thing is?
What's that?
I haven't heard much from Bill O'Brien.
Good.
I love that.
He doesn't want to be heard from. He's doing his work where he doesn't need to be heard.
You know who needs to yell and swear?
Me?
Okay, maybe you. Red Sox fans. I mean, Celtics fans, Bruins
people
fans.
People in traffic on the way to the Cape.
Okay, so there's lots of people that need to yell and swear. But my point is, if you're really confident in your knowledge and your ability to do your job, you don't need to be yelling and screaming. You know who I almost never hear yelling and screaming? Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick walks up to a player. We see from afar, he's doing this, he's pointing, and then the player does whatever the hell he's asked because the coach knows what he's doing. He just asked me to do it. I think Bill O'Brien is far closer to that than the Joe Judges of the world who have to scream and yell and drop F-bombs, I think, because they're insecure in their own ability to coach and their own knowledge, and they're trying to, you know how they tell you if a bear attacks you, you're supposed to look big. You're supposed to make yourself look really, really big. I don't have to look big if I am big. Right? If you all are already big, you don't need to try to look big. The bear doesn't need to try to look big. The bear's a big old badass.
You were talking earlier about Marte Mapu suffering from an intense case of hard hit syndrome and tryharditis on the field. Yeah. And that may be his very nature. He just may wake up every day and grab a hot glass of Julius Peppers and choose violence. That's fine. But oh my God, how every fan, every media member, every listener to the station, viewer of the Patriots and beyond had a friggin' popsicle headache last year, listening to those 5-minute word salads from Joe Jazz and Flat Patricia last year. Whenever they'd ask him a question like, "Hey, how's your communication going with Mac?" And he would just literally do a 3.5-minute filibuster, which would just you're just like, okay, got it. All right, stop. Like, have you ever been at a presser since you've gone to so many of these at the stadium? I bet people would love to know this. Have you ever been there where someone has been like, "Hey, that's enough answer. Like I'm good.
No, but some people will
Like cough or like just like
try to interject and like kind of cut him off at the pass and get a new question in, or try to focus the answer into what I actually asked and not this babbling word salad, as you said. I just looked something up. So last year, Kendrick Bourne had 35 catches for 434 yards and 1 touchdown. Hammer, bang, do whatever it is, the over on his stats all day long. All day long.
All right, we're going to play a little game on Sunday. Let's tease it out right now. Sunday, when we're on WEI from 10A to 2P, we're going to do a huge, big, fat, we might even do a full hour of Patriots 2023 over-unders. I just saw recently on Underdog, where I love doing the over-under props, Mac Jones, 3,500 yards this season.
I would take the over.
Take it.
I don't
take it
feel
all day.
I don't feel as good about that as Kendrick Bourne. I'll take the over on anything you give me for Kendrick Bourne. I think Kendrick Bourne's going to have a really good year.
Daniel Fatfingers, who's watching live on YouTube, he says, hey, Billy O yells, dude, to which I reply, and I'm sure you would say the same, when it's called for, when it's time, when it's appropriate. But he doesn't just for the sheer sake of it.
I have heard Joe Judge yell probably at least 8 total minutes in each of the 3 OTA sessions.
Oh, my God. He's like a Harbaugh, like a Doberman in a car with the windows rolled up in the summer. Just
that's disrespectful to Harbaugh, though, because at least Harbaugh has done something in his life.
Wow.
Shots
fired. And might I say, warranted.
And I'm going to one more time defend my guy Cam Accord, because somebody said, how the F is Joe Judge and Cam Accord still on this team? Well, Cam Accord is barely on this team. He's like a glorified ball boy. He's still listed as a special teams coordinator.
Couldn't he be up there with Matt Walsh and Dorito Dink collecting a check on some nice island?
No, I think he's making a nice check right now as long as those keep coming in. I feel bad for him. He's been like emasculated. He's a borderline ball boy. He goes and picks up like the pennies to give to players, and it almost feels like he's the third special teams coach behind Judge and Troy Brown, because Judge runs the show, Troy Brown's with the returners, and then Cam Accord's like, yeah, I'm still here, and it says I'm the special teams coordinator, but I don't really feel like the special teams coordinator because no one really tells me to do anything or listens to me when I say stuff. I feel bad for him, even though he hasn't done a good job. I can admit that.
Yes. Well, it's nice to know that you still, after all these years of radio, opinionating, blogging, and beyond, and of course your youth coaching, that you actually still have feelings and that empathy.
I have a heart.
You are capable. You are capable of empathy. Not much, but just enough at times to feel bad for a man who's making a ton of money not to do very much of what he used to do for the football team that we all watch and root for. Thank you guys for tuning in today to Six Rings and Football Things live on the socials. And of course, filling up your feed. I appreciate you guys giving it a follow at Six Rings Pod. Rate, review, subscribe, and share wherever you get a chance, whether it's Podbean, Spotify, probably Apple Pods, the Odyssey app, and everywhere else. We're going to move on now to a segment. We're looking to the future, and then we'll take a couple listener questions, and we out. Andy, we are now talking about people who could be visiting and or signing contracts potentially with AFC East teams. Here we go. First, let's begin with the one that is filling up the feed. It's damn near choking us out right now, and he's not even coming to Foxborough first. D-Hop. DeAndre Hopkins is making his way first on Sunday to Nashville to meet with Mike Vrabel, who we just learned is going to be honored at the Patriots Hall of Fame alongside Dante Scarnecchia this October. He's taking his first interview with the receiver-needy Titans before he comes to Foxborough next week. I forget who it was in our chat box here earlier who asked, what do you think the odds are that Mike Vrabel, knowing the Patriots need a receiver, signs him and doesn't let him get out of the building before he makes his way to Foxborough? Because I mean, think about it, like someone who learned at the heel of Belichick. They absolutely need a number 2. Like, who do they have down there? They got rid of Bobby Trees. They have Treylon Burks last year, who they drafted to replace A.J. Brown. Didn't quite work out the same, though the kid may still be good. Like, there's not a lot of receiver depth in Tennessee. That's a place he could go shine. The issue is, does he want to go someplace where there's a chance he might finish 7-10, and they'll be in a bunch of low-scoring games?
I'm sorry, were you talking about Tennessee or New England there with 7-10?
You absolute son of a bitch!
No, if he wants to win, I don't know why he's visiting Tennessee and New England. But I think we've seen, or at least it's been sort of reported, surmised, that he is prioritizing money over winning at this point. Because if he just wanted to win, Buffalo or Kansas City or some of these other teams that showed interest in the process but aren't looking to pay him would take him. So it's interesting. Is there any chance that he's just done? Like, he didn't look done last year. I didn't think he was.
Where is this freaking D-Hop is washed?
Why does no one want him?
And who said no one wants him?
It doesn't
Nobody
seem like anybody wants
wanted him for $19 or $20 million and a 5th round draft pick from to the Cardinals.
Right. And now no one, I mean, if anybody was interested, don't you think there would be better opportunities promoted by the agent? Like, he's going to
how many teams can afford him right now? Number one.
Oh, so that's a different story. Right?
What's he going to do? I mean, granted, the man has made over $100 million in this league, though I do believe he's got a few mouths to feed at home and out and about as well.
Doesn't he want the contract that OBJ got?
He does.
Okay. OBJ, what did he do last year?
Nothing.
What did he do the year before that?
Went to a Super Bowl team via trade and was going to be the MVP of that game that his team ultimately won before he tore his ACL for the second time.
He rehabbed and appeared to actually be getting healthy when he broke again. Correct? So a guy who hasn't been an elite, valuable receiver for how many years? Multiple.
Yeah.
Multiple years. He's not wanted as much as that guy. So the league is telling you D-Hop's not that valuable right now. So the league may think he's done. Again, wow. I thought he was productive last year.
Sure as hell was. 64 catches, 700-something yards, 3 touchdowns in 9 games with garbage quarterback play. But why wouldn't any team want all right.
Okay,
is he an upgrade over Devontae Parker? Is he an upgrade over Devontae Parker?
I think so, but I don't know if the league thinks so.
Now, who cares what the league thinks? Because I only care what the Patriots think.
Well, the Patriots are in the league. See, they're part of the league. There's 32 teams
okay,
in the league.
All right, they're 3% of the league. Okay.
So is he Julio Jones? Let's go back to another Titans. I believe the Patriots were rumbled in. Titans got him and then realized, wait a minute, this doesn't look anything like the guy I remember.
No, this thing has 197,000 miles on it, and I just found out via the Carfax it's had 3 owners.
Is there any chance D-Hop
multiple accidents?
D-Hop is still elite, says Rad Rob. Okay. I don't think he's still elite personally. I think he's good. I think he'd be the best receiver on the Patriots. But I'm not an expert. I'm not Matt Groh. I'm not, whatever GM or talent evaluator you want to pick. I just have opinions on podcasts.
I mean, he's on the other side of 30. He's been doing this for a decade now. He has never been one. He's not the biggest guy. He is also not an Olympic sprinter as well. He just gets open, and he's got great hands. Somehow the dude finds a way.
That's what Adrian Phillips said. First thing he thought of when D-Hop was hands, that he just catches the ball.
And let's hear from Kendrick Bourne when given an opportunity today to speak to what it would be like to have him on the team. Another receiver who could potentially, possibly, maybe just kind of sort of have to get moved for D-Hop if he comes to town, though I doubt it. It'd probably be Paca. Here's Kendrick Bourne talking about the possibility of D-Hop coming to Foxborough and if he'll help recruit.
Yeah, I'm a fan of D-Hop. It'd be cool. I don't really know the gist of what's going on, but yeah, he's a great player.
What does he bring to the table? Why are you a fan of him?
Just what he's done over his career, and just watching him when I was younger and stuff. And he's just a great leader. So if anything was to happen, he's a great leader. So. Would
you like to play with him?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
He's been kind of outspoken, I think, in the past on social media.
Yeah. Great player. So anything that'll help us win, I'm with. So.
There's reports though that he's coming in for a visit next week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What would you say to him if you could say to him right now? Here's your pitch.
Yeah, come on through, man. We need any help we can get to win.
There you go. We need any help we can to get to win. That's the right attitude. Like everybody, come on, everyone pick up an oar. Everyone just sit down. We all want the plane to land. I'm on. And I'll tell you, I've been a big fan of the idea for a while now. And I think it would likely be Parker, who flashed at times last year, but he's fine. He's a 50-50 ball guy. I think D-Hop, I would rather have DeAndre Hopkins at $12 million than Parker even at $6 million. Because A, it's not my money. And B, I still think he's got gas in the tank. And he's not washed.
So the financial aspect is one thing. If you remove salary to afford him better on your salary cap, that's another. But why do you have to get rid of anybody? We've already talked about they have 4 receivers.
You don't want
Barely.
to just punt on everybody that you picked up in the later rounds or that you want to try to develop. Maybe they'll kick. Maybe
you'd rather
Maybe maybe Douglas
1,400
makes
yard.
okay. Maybe Douglas makes the practice squad. You bid Booty fare thee well. Cunningham makes the team
Booty
because
stinks. Booty's done nothing.
Stinky Booty.
I know all you people have fallen in love with Booty, whether it was the name or the 300 yards 3 years ago. He's done nothing, and dude is a bit shady off the field. We need to acknowledge there's a reason in it. Performance was part of it, never lived up to the hype, and he's got red flags off the field. So
we got a stinky booty and a shady booty.
Yeah, a stinky and shady booty. Absolutely. But immediately I saw, like, who's got to go? Why does anybody have to go? God forbid we give Mac 5 receivers who are actual NFL receivers. Demario Douglas. Maybe he's the next great thing, or maybe he stinks. There's a reason Raleigh Webb's all over the frickin' field. Malik Cunningham's getting reps. How about just keep the 5 guys you have? Huh? How about just keep 5 guys? Have 5 receivers that are actual professional NFL receivers and bump them all down a slot. I'd be happy to see D-Hop 1, Juju 2, Bourne 3, Parker 4, and Thornton 5. You know what that looks like? Pretty damn
a professional receiving core. However, I don't want to just have to like cut bait after 4 weeks and being like, oh, this Booty kid. Well, let's not put any time into him. Demario Douglas, he's too small.
So put him on the practice squad. Who gives a rat's ass?
Well, you run the risk of losing him, and then you could have a what's his face
from
29 a Braxton Berrios situation. Not to say that he lit the world on fire, but now he's in Miami after he went to the Metropolitans for a few years. We'll see. Hey, here we go. Go Pats. Greetings from Bahrain from Abdul Rahman Al Khalifa. Thank you very much for watching, my friend.
You want to try that again?
It was ballpark. Sorry, I'm doing it on the fly.
That you never said.
Al Khalifa. I apologize. I apologize. Thank you very much for watching. We have a robust debate in the chat box right now over D-Hop. Most fans seem to want him. I'm all aboard. Anthony Abruzzi with a lot of fingers crossed and prayer emojis. Why? Okay, Andy, why would the Patriots wait and not try to get him in here first before the Titans with their meeting on Sunday? Somebody said that had a lot to do with the agent scheduling the meetings, correct?
I'm guessing that the agent scheduled it, or maybe they were a step slow. Maybe the Titans were the first to call and he's just going in order. I will say how long did it take them to sign Antonio Brown?
About 3.5 seconds after he did. Grandma, I'm free. We're free.
Interesting.
Jackass. Oh, by the way, sounds like everything's going great with the Albany Knights or the Albany Emperors or the Albany Strike, whatever the hell
Did he play yet? I know he promised to play and then didn't show up.
No, and people aren't getting paid. They're getting locked out of the facility. One of my pals, Jake Smith, did a whole podcast breaking it down. Apparently, it is a storm up that way. Like it is an absolute
Wait, Antonio Brown's involved, and it's
I know.
Holy Moses! Yeah, he still loves you, Fitzy, even though you screwed up his name.
Well, you know what? People are. You know what they're capable of here. Unlike in your little Nape of the Woods neck of the way, what are you doing here? Forgiveness.
I forgive you.
Huh? Okay. Well, thank you. There you go. It's the first time. I'm producing this, so I'll have to save that one off later. All right, Andy. I'm in on D-Hop. You would sign D-Hop. You want a professional receiving core. I would do it in a second. All right, let's just forget the debate. Throw a number out there. Ready? Here we go. Just chum the waters. Throw it out there.
Oh, for a contract?
Yes.
What it's going to take or what I'd like to pay?
What do you think it's going to take?
I think it's going to take a salary of $10 million with incentives that can take that contract probably closer to 20.
I was going to say 3 for 50.
Yeah, I mean, the whole 3 thing, I'm talking about what you're going to pay him this year. You're going to pay him $10 million, whether it's called guaranteed or not. It's going to be virtually guaranteed. And then I think there's going to be, now I want to clean something up that our good buddy Christian Fourier effed up on the radio today. He was talking about incentives.
Oh, was that the English language?
Yes. And so people are like, wait, I listened from 10 to 2. Which part are you going to clean up for Christian? But as an NFL player who signed, I don't know, 15 contracts in his career, he played in the league a long time. I would think he'd know this, but the incentives, he's like, yeah, just give him incentives and call them likely to be earned. That's not how it works. Incentives are automatically likely or unlikely to be earned based on your previous year's production. If you achieved it in your previous year, it's likely to be earned. If you didn't achieve it in your previous year, then it's not likely to be earned. So, for example, he had, what did D-Hop have, like 60 catches last year?
64 catches, 720 yards, 3 tutties.
So if you want him to have a likely to be earned incentive on catches, it would have to be 60 catches. If he gets over 60 catches, you'll give him an extra $1 million. Okay, that's likely to be earned. You know what that means? It's on this year's salary cap. If you want it to be a not likely to be earned incentive, you give him 75 catches for $1 million. And then if he achieves it, it would go on next year's salary cap. So you don't get to choose whether you call them likely or not likely to be earned. It's all based on what he did last year. And that actually could help a team like the Patriots, who are trying to put incentives in his contract, because his raw numbers last year were low. So if you put in games played, catches, receptions, you can put, let's just say 70 catches for 1,000 yards, and you play 15 games. He didn't do any of those things last year. They're not likely to be earned incentives. They go on next year's cap. You can pay him an extra $8 million on next year's cap when you have cap space.
Matt Gardner, otherwise known as Matt Gardner. For a guy who doesn't run precise routes and isn't a fan of practicing, why do you think BB is such a fan of D-Hop? I love you, man. Yeah, I just try to do my job.
Because Bill loves production, proven ability, execution. Yeah. It's the same reason why Bill Belichick wants to know exactly what everybody's doing, but he could get along with Junior Seau. Or, Bill Belichick is the be-all, end-all, but he's okay if Rodney Harrison and Ty Law decide on the field to switch flip-flop duties, right? Like, if you're great, Bill accepts it. If you're not great and F around, well, you're gone. But he sees D. Hopkins as what he is, a Hall of Fame caliber receiver. And Bill loves Hall of Fame caliber players. He respects production and ability and execution.
Remember Ocho Cinco? Yeah, we're going to double you today. We're taking you out. And then he signs him, and the guy can't even get the playbook. And Teddy Bruschi, by the way, happy 50th birthday, Teddy Bruschi. Bruschi is like, get your head out, like, stop ogling the Patriots. Get your head in the playbook, knucklehead. Andy, this is a little two-parter, some questions from the Twitter sphere. As you don't eat the can, you drink the soda. I'm not sure if you know how
it's out. I want more.
Same with mine. Hugh Janus 978. That's correct.
Excuse me?
Yep. No need to be excused.
Why is it so big?
Says we're certainly getting ahead of ourselves, but seen lots of talk. Which receiver gets jettisoned if we sign Hopkins? Yeah, Parker or Bourne.
Why does
you
it
guys
have to be
touch on
anybody?
this? We did. That's Andy's answer, Hugh.
And if I have to answer, it's Parker.
Correct.
Bye-bye.
At
Because
Sports
Bourne
Talk
is going to be awesome this year. In case you missed the beginning part of the podcast.
It's right there. It's on the lower third if you're watching live. Hart, bang the over on Bourne receiving yards this season. Said he may actually get some Debo time. It's kind of fun when we do it live because I can put all these lower thirds in.
I like it. And
yeah, okay.
I got to start paying attention to that in case you say anything, take me out of context or something.
What's that?
Can I get Hart? Fitzy's a moron.
Oh, but you can get Hart. I need to start paying attention. All right. At Sports Talk Chud. Why are we going all in for an aging wideout when we don't even know if our starting quarterback is all that good? I think I see ye have little faith in Mac Jones. I know he's been throwing it 7-on-7s. It's 11-on-11s. There's no pads. It's against air. Who's playing corner? Blah, blah, blah. But by and large, it seems like we've got a different Mac Jones. I'm a fan of just what Eric Mangini and Scott Pioli and others have said this week, the accountability that he's taken, saying I need to earn the respect of each and every person in that building once again, my teammates especially. Would you say thus far, the aggregate of what you've heard, everything going on, what you've seen, shows a more polished, poised, or professional Mac Jones?
No, I think he's in a better place. I mean, for example, today, he threw a pass to the left. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage, and it was intercepted by Kyle Duggar. And Mac pouted. He stormed off and pouted. There's no other way to describe it. He's always going to be that guy. He's always going to have that in him. And he's on, like, you need to accept that or deal with it, acknowledge it. Now, the hope is it doesn't rear its ugly head too often because you're playing well. You're putting him in position to make plays. You're not exacerbating his emotional weaknesses and all those things. And that's where I think you are. He trusts Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien knows what he's doing, as Kendrick Bourne said. Mac Jones feels normal. He trusts him, those words. So I think you're going to minimize the amount of times or opportunities for Mac to be McEnroe Jones and be a baby and sulk. But to get back to the question,
Brady was a powder too, and Brady tore
one of the
people a
biggest
new
bitches
blank
on the
hole.
planet. One of the biggest bitches on the planet when things don't go well. Absolutely. I feel like that's getting a heart colon. But can we get back to the root of the question? Why would you add a potential number one wide receiver if you're not sure how good your quarterback is? Isn't that the exact reason you'd add a number one wide receiver? If you thought you have Tom Brady and he can take chicken you-know-what and make chicken salad. If you have a truly elite quarterback, that's when you can get by with lesser receivers. If you don't trust the quarterback's ability or upside, get him the most receivers possible, the most talent possible. Give him people that can make plays without him having to be spectacular. So the uncertainty about Mac's ability is the exact reason you would go get DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion.
All right. If anyone that's watching live right now on the YouTubes, the Twitter sphere, or the Book of Face has a question, you guys can fire them into the chat real quick while Andy and I wrap. It's contextual. I made sure to point it, but okay. When things don't go his way, fine. All right. If anyone has any last questions, rally them up. Otherwise, Andy and I real quick are going to discuss what may be going on down in Miami, and not hopefully not the Denver Nuggets. Hopefully, I should say, taking home the NBA Finals trophy. Rather, Dalvin Cook released for a whole lot. Now, here's someone who's not washed. Here's someone who does have long hair, but is extremely talented still, has had ridiculously productive seasons when healthy for the Minnesota Vikings. Released for free, absolutely nothing in return. And now from the Minnesota Vikings, Alexander Mattison, who looks kind of like his clone, will now be taking over RB1 duties in Minnesota. And it looks like Dalvin Cook, if his Instagram is any sort of indication, because he definitely teased out him celebrating on the field at Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah. I speak social. I know where he's looking to sign. Dalvin Cook coming to the AFC East, problem for everyone, not just the Patriots.
Another problem, not just a problem. Like the Dolphins, I mean, we've talked about it. Patriots can be better and could be a fourth place team. I know Sports Illustrated thinks they're going to win the division and all these blah, blah, blah. But you add Dalvin Cook to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Holy crap.
Schmidt. Exactly. I said Schmidt, like Mike.
Clean it up. And a coach who people still think is creative and can get the ball to playmakers. I mean, that's the example. Why would you add Dalvin Cook and Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins offense if you're not sure how good Tua is? No. That's why you add them to that offense, because then Tua just has to get rid of the ball. Is there a more dangerous trio in the NFL than those three? I mean,
that's a very good question, and we'll make sure to revisit this on Sunday during the radio show. That's effing scary. I'm sorry. Yeah. You have the fastest wide receiver in football.
Come on, Juwan Bentley will tackle them.
That's why we got Mapu.
Oh yeah.
That's a problem. I don't know who their tight end is. I don't really care. Their other receivers, that's fine. Now all these guys that you thought were going to be carrying the ball, toting the rock in the Shanahan zone scheme that sideline vape McDaniels would be running, are going to be second and third backs, because you're going to have Dalvin Cook, who's powerful, quick as hell, and also, by the way, with the ball in his hands, like, he's a really good receiver in space.
He's awesome. I love him probably more.
That's who I want Ramondre to turn into.
He's
on his way. He's on his way.
He is on his way, and he's in that conversation, in my opinion, or he can be in that conversation with those guys. I've always loved Dalvin Cook coming out of college. I know he's battled some injuries at times.
He was an animal in that game in Florida State against Michigan. That play, like, after I saw that, I thought, I don't care what you're doing, Patriots, just find a way to get this guy. He beat Michigan by himself in that Sugar Bowl.
And he can beat you. He's one of those guys where, like the Barry Sanders, we bottled him up. Oh, we didn't bottle him up on that play. And they scored, and it's over. I would not. Yeah, you do not want him on the Miami Dolphins.
Showland 1999. Cook scares me more than that new quarterback in New York. And he's not talking about Daniel Jones.
I'm not sure that's a fair.
Abdullah Rahman, whose name I butchered, and I shall not again. I do apologize. But he wants to know, Andy, quick one. Do we know exactly who the defensive coordinator is? Did they actually appoint one? I don't think so, right?
No, they have not announced their coaches at all, which is in frustration internally. I know with some people at the website and dealing with, like, why don't we have the coach?
Where the hell is Adrian Clem's bio on the website?
they're figuring some things out. Bill said a couple weeks ago they were still working through some things, or maybe that was last week, still working through some things, and they'd have an announcement at some point soon. That I do not believe they will announce a defensive coordinator. I think you will move forward with the same system you've had. It's a shared duty between Gerard Mayo, who clearly they have reinvested in as the heir apparent, and Steve Belichick. And I think they'll continue to have Steve, as Gerard said, Steve's been calling the plays for 3 years. Why would we change it? It's been working. Defense has been good. So Steve Belichick is going to continue to call the defensive plays, and Gerard Mayo is going to continue to have a huge voice on the defense, whether it's on the sideline, during the week, in the meeting room, some of the things we've heard over the years. It's those two guys. And DeMarcus Covington is not a bad, young developing coach back there.
No, he was coaching at I think this might be his last year under contract, but he was coaching at the Senior Bowl as well. I have very few. I know you were saying the cornerbacks, the cornerbacks of the secondary, if you will, could be a bit of a house of cards.
House of cards.
I'm not nearly as worried. I want to see the offense get back in gear. Yes, Rad Rob Ramondre will be the number one back, no doubt. And
although Kevin Harris had a run today, running right towards me, that long run, outrunning your boy.
Little 6 to midnight for you. Yeah, really.
His freaking
he's strong. Yeah. Is he a quadzilla?
I do think he's dropped a little bit of weight from last year, probably by design, but his dude must struggle to buy pants. Dude must struggle to buy jeans, or dude has some tree trunks.
Really? So that's probably why they were comfortable letting Damian Harris make his way to Buffalo.
Yeah, plus he's always banged up. Plus they're always going to let running backs go. It's what they do. Whether you rushed for 1,000 yards or not, hey, law firm, good luck in Cincinnati. Take care. Shane Vereen, you had a great Super Bowl. Take care. Wish you well. They believe that position is replaceable and interchangeable.
Yeah, and thank you, Robert Louis Steele, the fourth, my guy. It's Mostert and Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson is no stiff as an auxiliary.
He's also no Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, no, he is not in any way, shape. Would the Pats make a run at Dalvin Cook? I don't think so, Matt. As much as we'd love to see him back there, you've got Hart's guy, the James Robinson hype train, Kevin Harris, Pierre Strong. We'll see what we get out of him, and of course, Ramondre. Sports Illustrated predicted he would have the most yards from scrimmage as a back this year. We will see. All right, Hart, we're coming up on the hour mark. That has been one robust, engagement-packed, and joyous edition of Six Rings and Football Things. We are out. We will be back on the radio on Sunday from 10 to 2 p. Of course, if you like to watch these live, we'll try to do more of these because it's a whole lot of fun to take the questions fresh and on the fly. Blanket will do it live, but you can always share this with your friends by subscribing to Six Rings and Football Things, Spotify, Apple Pods, and so much more. For everyone who helped put this thing in place, mostly me, and of course, Andy Hart, who was at practice today. This is Six Rings and
brings
Football
all the entertainment and information and expertise and knowledge and value and any other good word.
And you're the guy who said, dude must struggle to buy pants, which is what I'm going to leave you, which is what I'm going to leave everyone with. Thank you guys for watching. We'll let you guys know when we're back live like this once again. Until next time, as always, appreciate you very much. We'll talk soon. Good day. God bless. And as always, go Pats.
Yeah.